Hi. This next section of the course that we're doing focuses on objects, which is going to be probably the trickiest of the subjects that we've been dealing with. But it's really, really important. Understanding how objects work is the basis of object-oriented programming, which is kind of the gold standard in programming. Um, and JavaScript uses a lot of objects, so it's important to understand what they are and how they work. So before you do this, I want to make sure you've watched, make sure you watch the Daniel Schiffman videos. Um, he he does it in a way that I'm going to demonstrate, and I think it is a clearer way. The Condense videos do deal with objects as well. They just do it in just a different method. But it's perfectly fine, and whichever one you choose to use is totally fine, whatever makes sense to your brain. But definitely watch the Daniel Schiffman videos before you watch this video, because he's going to break it down better, and I'm just going to take what he explained and apply it to this exercise that you're going to be doing. So we're starting off here with what you did for the last exercise for functions. So we've got the bouncing ball. We've got three functions defined. We've got a function for bounce, a function for move, and a function for display. And then we call all three of them up here. So this hopefully looks pretty familiar. Yours is probably very similar. Your variable names might be different, but it's the same idea. So we're going to take this and we're going to change it so that the ball is an object, actually an object. And what an object is it's kind of like a supercharged variable in a way. It's a thing that has both data and functionality. And so this ball is going to have the data it's going to have is the x and y position and its speed. That's its data. And the functionality is going to be basically these three functions. It's going to bounce, it's going to move, and it's going to display. So to start off, we need to create a class. So this is, remember, in the video he talks about the class being the cookie cutter. It's like the blueprint of what an object is going to be. It's not the object itself, it's just the blueprint. The blueprint is not the building, it's the instructions on how to make a building. So class, and then we almost always want to start this off with a capital letter so that you know it's a class and not a function. Ball, and then open closing parentheses, and then everything goes in here. The first thing we need to do is build the constructor. So every class needs to have a constructor, and a constructor is kind of like the setup function in a sketch, where it's the first thing that gets run, and it defines all of the variables, all the data, defines all the data. So what we need to define with the constructor is basically this stuff up here. We've got a width, an x and a y, and a speed x and speed y. And that's the information we're going to pass into this constructor. So I need to put some parameters in here. So I'm going to say x. Remember, these are temporary variables. They're only used in this little section right here to pass in information. X, y, width, speed x, speed y. And now what I need to do is take those values and stick them into the actual ball. And we use this with that keyword, this. And this is really easy to forget, you know, when you're debugging your code, is you forgot to use this.x, this.y, this.w. So always keep a lookout for that. I do it all the time. So this.x is going to equal the x that was passed in. This.y is going to equal the y, etc. Okay, so we've made an object now. We just haven't given it any functionality. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these functions that we created up here, and we're actually going to put them inside of the object itself. So it's as if every single object we make has its own program inside of it, and it knows what to do. So kind of like if you're a play and you're directing a play and you have actors, all the actors know their own lines and their own movements. You don't have to tell them at every single moment what to do. They kind of operate on their own. That's kind of what we're doing here. So I'm going to first, you don't have to use the word function because we're inside of writing inside of a class. We're going to use bounce, and bounce is going to be up here, this code here. So I'm going to grab all of this, copy, I'm going to paste it here. Now I don't need bounce anymore. I'm going to get rid of that. So now here we've got to make some changes here. We're not using ball x anymore. We're just doing this dot x. So I need to change this to this dot x. And then over here, same thing, this dot x. Down here, this dot y. This dot y. And then we got to do this here in SpeedX. This dot SpeedX. This dot SpeedX. Oh, I have a lowercase x there, don't I? I need to be more consistent about this. Okay. And then here, this dot speed y. This dot speed y. Did I miss anything? Okay, so this is the function for bounce. So every time we call bounce, it's going to check if the x of this particular ball, just this one, not any of the other balls, you might have multiple on the page, just this particular one, has it hit the left or the right side, has it hit the top or the bottom. So this should look fairly familiar. Next we're going to make the function for move. And you can add parameters to these as well, but we just really don't need them right now. So a move, let's grab this code, add it here. And again, we got to change this to this dot x, this dot x, this dot speedx, this dot speed y. And okay, so that's our move function. So we can get rid of this. And now we're going to make a display function that actually draws it to the screen. So display, and that is simply this, just draws it to the screen. So display this dot x, this dot y, this dot width, this dot width. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the function. Okay, let's take a look at everything. Looks okay. Speed x, speed y. Hopefully that works. Okay, so I'm going to run this code. Oh, I got an error on line 20. Ball, class, ball. Oh, you don't put parentheses here. I forgot. Sorry about that. Class, when you're making a class, you don't put parentheses. If you're going to pass anything in, you pass it in with the constructor, not the actual ball. Okay, let me run that again. bounces. Oh, I'm still calling these up here, and I took them away, so I gotta get rid of that. Okay, so we've created this class with this thing that's supposed to bounce around, but we're not seeing anything because all we've done is created the blueprint. We never actually built the building. We never actually created an object using that blueprint. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And you can do it, I'm going to do it in the setup. And I'm going to say ball, I'm going to call it ball one, because eventually we want to make more than one, but we'll just make one right now. Ball one equals new ball. Do I put parentheses there? I can't remember. Yeah, we do. New ball, because the constructor stuff goes in there. And we're making a new one, and we need to give it this information. X, Y, width, speed, X. We've got these variables up here, so I'm just going to go ahead and use those. So it was ball X, ball Y. I could just type numbers in here, but we already have those. So ball width, speed, X, speed, Y. Okay, let's try that. Okay, no errors. So again, we've created the class, we've created the ball, but we never actually did anything with that ball. It exists in that virtual world there, but we never did anything. We never told it to move, we never told it to display or anything like that. So to do that, we need to use this dot syntax. So because the ball has things inside of it now, we can access those things. So we're going to say ball one dot bounce, ball one dot move, ball one dot display, and let's see. Okay, did something wrong there, but the ball is moving. I did something wrong down here, obviously, with the speed. What did I do wrong? This dot X, this dot Y. Looks like this isn't working. And oh, here we go. Move. It's got a Y there. Let's see if that works. There we go. That was a problem. I had X instead of Y. Okay, so now it's working. So I've created a ball object, and I've made it do Prism X the same exact thing, except those functions are now inside of the object. So the beauty of this is now I can create more than one. So if I just take this, I can create, let's make ball 2. And let's say instead of using these functions up here, I'll say random width for the X and random height. And I'll do that for both of them so that they don't appear at the exact same spot on the screen every time. So instead of using this variables, I'm going to use this. Say copy that and put that here. Otherwise, they would be on top of each other. So each of them is going to appear at a random spot, and then now I need to two, ball. Now we've got 2 balls going, etc., etc. You can have as many as you want. And later on, we're going to learn to have loops that create as, you can make 50 balls and not have all of this code. But for now, this works just fine. You don't have all those crazy variables. In fact, we don't even need these anymore. We don't need all of this. We could just pass it into the class when it gets created. So I hope this made sense. It'll make more sense if you watch those other videos first. So what I want you to do is I want you to do this. I'll post the code for you have code for your old ball bouncing with functions. So you're going to do this. You're going to turn a bouncing ball with functions into an object. And then I have another one for you to do where you're going to take a different type of moving object. It's called a random walker or bug. You're going to take that one and do the same thing. It'll be posted in the exercises. Do the same thing, turn it into an object. And you'll do these. I recommend don't wait till the end of the week to do these because the assignment is going to take a lot of time. You're making a little game, and I have videos to support you on that, but it's going to take probably going to take more time than other assignments we've had in the past. So, so stay tuned for that, and please, please, please text me if you have any questions, if something's just not clear, because it's hard when I'm not in front of you. And I can't even like see your faces to see if you're confused. So please, please, please reach out. It's very helpful to me, and not just that, it'll help your fellow classmates as well. Okay, I'm going to end this, and I'll make any other videos that you want me to make. Okay, bye.